Florida, the state that everybody loves to hate on. Yet it still hasn't stopped people from moving here. So if you're one of those people who just arrived or you just started gardening in Florida and you're having a really difficult time, this video is for you, because today I'm going to explain to you what makes gardening in Florida so challenging compared to up north and what you can do about it. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Christina with Forever Food Forest, a channel where I explore ways of growing food without the use of herbicides, pesticides, or commercial fertilizers. And instead, I rely on permaculture principles and other natural farming techniques to grow food that's good for the garden and good for the planet. Florida, there's really no place like it. We have unique flora and fauna, soil, geology, and of course, climate. In fact, our type of climate is only found in two other places on the planet, one being in Delhi, India, and another a very small part of Australia. And what makes it unique is the heat. It ain't the heat.
You ain't from around here, are you?
It's the humidity. And that is another Florida specimen, Florida ma'am.
Now, you ain't gonna let someone in yoga pants tell you how to garden, are you?
First of all, they're practical. And second of all, I didn't realize there was a uniform for gardening. Reason number one why gardening in Florida is so hard is the heat. It gets hot here. The summers here are insufferable. With temperatures reaching into the 90s, it gets so hot, you can bake biscuits in your mailbox. It's too hot to be outside, and it's too hot for most plants, especially things that you would grow up north.
Now, you ain't gonna grow no broccoli or lettuces here in summer.
Tomatoes can't set fruit when temperatures reach above 85 degrees. So, goodbye tomatoes. But not all is lost, because we can grow a lot of really fun tropical exotic fruit here that you can't grow up north. I'm starting some figs, I have some pineapples. You can also go wild and grow some mangoes, papayas, bananas. You have a lot more things that you can grow here than you can grow up north. You just have to adjust your timeline. And you can still grow cool season crops. You just have to start your seeds in September.
Oh, bless your heart, child. Now, we ain't gonna do none of that fancy pants stuff. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get yourself a sweet tater. You're gonna stick it in some water. And once it starts to look like this, you're gonna break these green guys off and you're gonna stick them in the ground. And then, and this perhaps is the most important part, you're gonna get yourself a nice cold beverage and you're gonna find yourself a river and float down it for the rest of the summer.
Reason number two is that full sun does not equal full sun in Florida. Due to the fact that we are so close to the equator, the intensity of the sun is much stronger here. In fact, right now it feels like I'm getting a suntan inside of a microwave. So the ideal positioning for a garden is morning sun, afternoon shade, protecting the plants from the hottest part of the day. If you cannot have that, consider using a shade cloth to protect the delicate foliage from those harmful, intense UV rays. I never heard of no shade cloth, especially because nature's got its own shade cloth. It's called a branch with some leaves, and what you're going to do is you're going to find a way to somehow attach it in such a way that it creates shade for your plants. Nature's shade cloth is free. You ain't gotta pay for it. Reason number three is fungus. Our humidity creates a perfect breeding ground for molds, mildews, and fungi. And there's really not much you can do to fight them because they live in the soil. But there is a silver lining to this, because this humid environment is also perfect for making compost, especially compost that is rich in fungal activity. Because not all fungi are bad fungi. There are good guys and bad guys. So by cultivating more of the good guys, you are going to push out the bad guys naturally without the need for fungicides. Reason number four is that it floods. Florida is one hurricane away from being underwater. Most of the state is at about sea level, and every time it rains, it floods. So that makes raised garden beds in Florida a necessity. And ask any seasoned gardener here, they will tell you invest in metal garden beds because wooden ones will rot away in about 18 months. Reason number 5 is sandy soil, if you can even call this soil. One of the main characteristics of this type of soil is that it doesn't hold nutrients, it's acidic, and it doesn't hold water. So it's really difficult to get it hydrated, and once it is hydrated, the water just evaporates really fast. So one way to work with this kind of soil is to incorporate lots and lots of organic matter. Reason number 6 is bugs. Now, we ain't gonna let a couple skeeters ruin our day in the garden. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're gonna get some catnip. Okay, you're gonna break it up nice and small. Okay, now you're gonna rub that all over you, and that's gonna keep the skeeters away. Okay. Okay, surprisingly, it actually works. So, all of these bugs, what can you do about them? The best advice I can give you is to grow outside of their swarming season. So if you grow your vegetables in January, you're hardly going to have any pest pressure. If you try starting your seeds in April or May, you're going to have a hard time because that's also when all the bugs hatch. Now we got 4 seasons here in Florida. There's hurricane season, alligator mating season, love bug season, and last but not least, snowbird season. Don't get them confused. Thanks for watching. You made it to the very end. I know this video was a little silly at times, maybe even unhinged, thanks to our guest star, Pat Wild. But on a serious note, I do want to say that Florida has a natural beauty that is slowly being erased. Well, it's not really slowly that it's being erased. It's actually happening at a breakneck speed because anytime a new housing development goes up, all the old growth trees are being ripped out. And we are not losing just those trees, we're also losing habitats for our native birds and other wildlife. And it's really sad to see. So what can we do as Florida residents? One of the things is we can stop using pesticides or herbicides in our gardens, because what happens every time it rains, which it rains here every day in the summer, all of those chemicals are being washed away into our waterways, into the streams, the rivers, the springs, and into the ocean. And that not only affects us, it also affects sea life and animals on a bigger scale. So that's just something to think about. And I don't want to come off as preachy, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Hopefully this video was informative. If you're new to Florida, welcome. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button if you want to learn more about natural gardening. And just remember, gardening in Florida doesn't have to be hard. It's just different. And you can grow a lot more things here that you couldn't up north. So drop down in the comments below and let me know what fun, cool, exotic things you'll be growing. Bye-bye.